Hello, I am Janice Farrar-Samani, and I am here to introduce to you a dear colleague of mine, incredible author and advocate for STEAM education, Kandis, Dr. Kandis Boyd. She is an award-winning author, lecturer at several universities, and as I mentioned, she is an advocate for STEAM. So today we are here to actually bring her book to you, bring it to life, if you will, Professor STEAM. And so with no further ado, I just would like to tell you just a little bit about her because her background is so fascinating. She is a meteorologist for nearly 30 years. And she has been devoted to engaging today's leaders in STEAM, which includes science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. She is a global speaker, a renowned expert, and has written over 50 articles, hosted in 30, and also hosted over 30 podcasts on STEAM topics. Dr. Boyd is a professor and has taught students of all ages for over a decade, and one who actually leads with serving. And I know that to be true. Dr. Kandis Boyd has developed scholarly initiatives and has explored innovation methods to shape curriculum from K to post-secondary. Her educational initiatives are, at this time, Professor STEAM, which we are bringing to you today. It is a compilation of her life's work in delivering and engaging lectures in various settings, community organizations, scholarly conferences, and virtual classrooms. As well, Dr. Kandis Boyd has led collaborative research projects, mentored faculty and students, and has been a consultant of senior executives as well as administrative, managerial, and technical issues. The book, the incredible book that we are going to talk about today, is Professor STEAM. It is going to be a series of compilations that really focuses on her passion for teaching youth and STEAM activities. So we are going to talk about this very engaging book that is intended to actually bring leaders into the STEAM career education as well as the field. Dr. Boyd is a recipient of 2018 American Public University Graduate Teaching Excellence Award, and from the Office of Oceanic and Atmospheric Research of 2019 Equality Employment Opportunity, EEO, a Diversity Initiative Award. Dr. Boyd also in 2020, she was busy in 2020, she is a winner of the American, Dr. Boyd is a recipient of the 2018 American Public University Graduate Teaching Excellence Award and the Office of Oceanic and Atomic Atmospheric, oh Lord have mercy. Dr. Boyd is a recipient of 2018 American Public University's Graduate Teaching Excellence Award and the Office of Oceanic and Atmospheric Research 2019 Equal Employment Opportunity, an actual diversity for initiative award. Dr. Boyd is also 2020 winner of the American Meteorological Society's Charles E. Anderson Award for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. The 2020 recipient of the Black Engineer of the Award, BEA. Also a Career Achievement Award through BEA. And the 2020 recipient of the National Weather Association Special Achievement Award for Lifetime Achievement. Welcome, Dr. Kandis Boyd. You have been busy.
Thank you.
Incredible.
Thank you, Dr. Samani. It's an honor to be in your presence. We've been friends for a very long time, and it's just an honor for us to speak about STEAM.
Absolutely. And this is so exciting to me when I found out that you had written a children's book that was really engaging, because I know you. I know it is amazing and children will be engaged, but that you've taken the time out of your incredible, impeccable career to take pause to say, wait a minute, we need to think about who's coming up with us, who is going to come along with us. How can we inspire these young people? So with no further ado, I'd love to really dive in and hear more about the book and also have a reading from you. So at this point, Dr. Kandis Boyd, please, let's have a reading from your book.
Okay, that sounds great.
STEAM.
All right, well, that sounds great. Thank you so much again, Dr. Samani. So I'll tell a little bit about myself. As you mentioned, my background is meteorology and hydrology. I spent 26 years in the field and I'm still going. And one of the things that I noticed is that, we're starting to see a challenge. And the challenge is what's called the STEAM pipeline: science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And a pipeline is basically a long cylindrical tube where you feed something in one end and it hopefully comes out the other. Well, we use the same analogy when it comes to the STEAM pipeline, because there are so many positions, jobs, careers in STEAM that are literally being created overnight. 40% of the jobs in 2030 that are expected haven't even been invented yet. So when it comes to STEAM, it's really important not to only to look forward, but to look behind you as well. And what we're finding is that there is a challenge with tomorrow's leaders. I don't call them kids, I call them tomorrow's leaders. That something's happening right around elementary school where you do have students that are interested in pursuing some of these topics, and then something shifts and we find that there's less individuals that are interested, and it continues to deteriorate. So what I did is I literally just brought together my two passions. I'm a professor and I like to talk about STEAM. And so hence the title, Professor STEAM, was born. And I really wanted to look at the pipeline and figure out what's the challenge and what can I do with my skills and abilities to address it. So the children's book series is just that. It's a fun way to start talking about science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. It's a rhyming storybook. And I'm sure if you think about when you were a youth and you were looking at books, there was something that kind of just captured your attention. And that's my goal, is to start at the youngest possible opportunity. We should be reading to our youth at the very first opportunity possible. When they are toddlers, when they are infants, when they're in daycare, we should be reading to them. And then as soon as they have the ability to read, they should be reading 30 minutes a day. So these children's books are actually geared toward that age range. It's under the age of 10, but actually really toward that pre-K and K and first grade environment. So any age under the age of 10, really. And the goal is people should be as familiar with science, technology, engineering, arts, and math as they are with entertainers, sports icons, people in our community, politicians. They should also know about STEAM in that same realm. And so that's how this idea was birthed, Professor STEAM.
Fantastic. Well, you hit on so many key points. And in particular of getting your children geared up to read, getting them interested in a particular topic. Of course, I did that when my children were at a very young age. And I think it's true and it really works. And you find that because of the rhyming, and your book is rhyming, you have the opportunity for the memory to begin to build. Wonderful. Absolutely. Congratulations. I'm just really excited. Would you like to read an excerpt from your book?
Sure, I'd love to. So the name of my book is Professor STEAM and Careers in STEAM. And as I mentioned, it's a rhyming storybook. It's about 40 pages. So I'll read maybe about 3 or 4 pages so you can get an idea of
Fantastic.
what some of the rhymes sound like. Okay, so I know I have a background up so you can't see the book, but I'll go ahead and start reading.
Okay.
Have you ever thought about the future? What exists and what will be? Professor STEAM brings exciting opportunities for you and for me. So let us take a trip to see what exists and what will be. I want you to see how STEAM will shape our world with creativity. Our first stop is science. It's exploring our world using measurements at different locations. It's learning about our world using data, research, and observation. The next stop is technology. It's developing something new, like software products and services that can tell you what is false and what is true. The third stop is engineering. These careers design buildings, bridges, cars, and planes. It's constructing something new by using your brain. So that's just a brief snippet of how we have the rhyming aspect and trying to explain what STEAM is. And I know you can't see the book, but what I'm really excited about the book is that the colors, the imagery, and then also representation matters. So for any person who picks up the book, you will see someone in the book that looks like you. I made it a point to include females, males, people of different backgrounds, genders, ethnicities. Even we have youth that are members of our, that might have disabilities. So we wanted to make sure that we included imagery like that. So someone could look at the book and say, hey, that person looks like me. That person's interested in STEAM. I can do that because I can see that. So that's just a little bit of the book, Professor STEAM. And what I wanted to also mention is that this is a series. So I'm going to continue producing books. So there's already 4 books available on Amazon.com. It's this book, which is Professor STEAM. It's this book that is the Spanish translation of Professor STEAM, because we want to make sure that those who are in homes where the primary language is Spanish can also benefit from this information as well. There's a coloring book, because as I mentioned, the target audience is under the age of 10. So once you start hearing some of these concepts, another way to re-engage or help reinforce those concepts is by to do some type of interactive exercise. So a coloring book I thought was most appropriate. And fourth is a resource guide. Because now that you kind of know about science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, there are free activities that you can do using everyday items to help your child engage more in science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And so together, the series will hopefully start that pipeline again and help build more and more people who are interested in science, technology, engineering, arts, and math.
This is incredible. The resources, who thinks of these kind of complementary pieces you did? And the package, it sounds fantastic. And reaching out to our Latinx community is incredible, Spanish-speaking community, so they can also embrace it is phenomenal. So you really, truly are embracing that inclusion around STEAM. And it's so critical because there is STEM in STEAM. So what surprised you the most as you were writing this book, Professor STEAM?
So
do you have any surprises?
I did. Well, one is the easy part was writing the book. And so I've been a scientist for 26 years, so scientist-related activities come very easy to me. So literally, I was being vulnerable, being transparent. I'm totally outside of my comfort zone by saying, I want to write a book. So writing the book, coming up with the rhyming and the story, that was the easy part. So it's not hard, but I'm just saying it was something that I had to learn. You had to learn how to format the book. You had to learn where you wanted to advertise the book. You had to market the book. I created a company, literally, Professor STEAM, which is an LLC. I also created a website. I also created 5 social media channels: YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So if anyone wants to link up or connect with me, I provide free information using those 5 platforms 3 times a week. So again, it's just another way of reinforcing that information. So that, I think, was the challenge. Was, yes, you can write a book. Anybody can write a book, but how do you package it in a way, as you said, that it becomes a series or integrated ways of learning? Because everyone learns in a different way. Some are visual, some people are audio, some people are kinesthetic. And so I also try to incorporate that into the concept of Professor STEAM. So by going to the website, you can see, you can hear, because I have videos, and you can do, because I have interactive activities as well.
Incredible. Well, and you've thought about everything. So I think that being able to capture all of those different modalities, those different learning styles, is incredible. And that's how you can really move this initiative forward in getting the youth engaged and interested in STEAM. Most of the time they're interested, but the parents don't know how to make the connections. So you've given them the materials that they can actually make the connections. Absolutely phenomenal. I'm curious,
Mhm.
how were you inspired? Yes, you are a professor. Yes, you do engage in STEAM. You are a board member of Fifth Wave, which
Absolutely.
is an education STEAM initiative. And so, how did you get inspired by just all of your skills and all of your background to actually write the book?
That's a great question. So I think it's just looking at people around me. Let's start with you, Dr. Samani. I had the opportunity to serve on a board of directors. I've never done that. And so to just see the caliber of the people who serve on the board is absolutely amazing. But what's more amazing is that they're giving their time for an initiative. So I think just being around people who are givers, who can excel by giving back to the community. I think that was the first step to inspire me. My sister, she's a librarian. So of course, a children's book directly ties into the great work that she and so many librarians are doing across the country to try and make sure that these resources are available to everyone who wants access to them. Now, if you go back 10, 20 years, of course, my parents were inspirations. My father was a science teacher. My mother was a computer science teacher, both at elementary school. So I think that kind of had an influence on me as well. And I wouldn't have been able to go to college if it weren't for scholarships. I was the recipient of the George Washington Carver Scholarship, and I attended Iowa State University. And many people may not know this, but George Washington Carver was the first African-American to attend Iowa State University, and they named a scholarship for him in his honor. We all know him from then going on to Tuskegee and doing wonderful, wonderful work with agriculture and especially the peanut. But I was a scholarship recipient, and that's how I went to school. And then I continued my graduate studies as a result of the Ronald E. McNair Fellowship. And so for those of you who are not familiar with Dr. McNair, he was an astronaut. He was on the Challenger shuttle, and he tragically passed away or died minutes into the launch. And I remember that quite distinctly. I think I was in maybe 3rd or 4th grade, and we actually watched the launch. And so that literally affected me. And I asked a lot of questions about the world around me and, space flight. And that actually started my career, for lack of a better term, into the sciences, is just starting to ask questions. So fast forward 15 years, I was honored to be the recipient of the Ronald E. McNair Fellowship. So the point is that I think if I look back on my nearly 30-year career, there are people every step of the way that are passionate about what they're doing, and they're leading by giving back to their community. So I think that's what has really inspired me to say, well, if they can do it, I can do it. And that's how Professor STEAM was born.
Incredible, incredible birthing. And so we can find your book. This is a must-have in your library.
Thank you.
So we can find your book on Amazon, correct?
Yes, so everything's on Amazon. I'm sure people know this, but Amazon is the largest bookseller. So I do have a copyright. I also have what's called a Library of Congress control number. I know sometimes when you are self-published, that's the first question is like, is it a real book? Well, it has all the nuts and bolts of a real book. And I'm glad that I went on the journey to self-publish because I learned, like I said, about so many aspects of literally getting a book onto the shelf. So if you're interested in this book, you can go to professorsteam.org. There is a link that says shop. You can click on the link and it actually takes you right to Amazon and right to the page so that you can make your purchase. Or you can just go to amazon.com. There's a link or a way to go to the book section, and you can just type in Professor Steam, or you can type in my name, Kandis with a K, and you can find the resources as well. They're reasonably priced because we are trying to target low socioeconomic populations. So my goal, my dream, my vision is to get these books, this series into the hands of youth. And the best way to do that is to get the book into daycares, get the book into elementary school libraries, get the book into public libraries. So if you could purchase the book and gift it to someone, that would be awesome. But also contact your local library. All you need to say is, I would like to see the Professor Steam book series in my library. And every library around the country has, has a method of taking community requests and making that a reality. And so that's another way of making sure that we have a new pipeline of people from low socioeconomic status areas, people that are both male and female, people from every race, ethnicity, and background. And we start to build this pipeline again so that we can have people from a variety of backgrounds, diverse backgrounds, and we start creating an equitable and an inclusive environment for the future for STEAM.
Excellent, excellent. So having those underrepresented communities and underrepresented populations,
yes,
just targeting them, it's amazing. I highly recommend the gifting program. Buy two, keep one for your personal library and gift another. And so you want to go to the website, I would go there first so you would learn about all the resources and make that connection to subscribe to Dr. Kandis Boyd. So thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. Is there anything that you'd like to leave the listeners with before we conclude?
Well, at the time of this recording, it's April 2021. So I'd be remiss if I didn't say why I launched my book in April. So first of all, there are several literacy related activities this month. National Poetry Month is April. National School Library Month is April. National Library Month is the second week of April. There's Drop Everything and Read Day. I believe that's in less than a week. And then later this month is World Book Night. So I thought 5 different literacy activities during this month. I think it's a perfect time to launch the book. In addition, April 22nd is Earth Day. And so what better time to think about what we're doing with the earth and resources and how STEAM plays into everything that we do on the earth than to launch the book during the month of April. So those are just 2 reasons why I thought it was really important to try and make sure that we launch the book and have all these wonderful opportunities like speaking with you during the month of April. So in closing, I would say to anyone who's listening, we need your help. There is a pipeline problem. The problem is real, but also for every problem, there's a solution. So I encourage you to go to professorsteam.org. The website is right behind me over my shoulder. Again, sign up for the free newsletter. Sign up for any one of our social media channels. And like I said, spread the word. Contact your local library and say, I would like to have the Professor Steam book series in the library. I think that's the best way for us to start this initiative, to work together so that our future is bright and our future leaders are well equipped.
Incredible, absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for your time and energy. And Fifth Wave STEAM Education Initiative has adopted Professor STEAM as its core curriculum for our K through 6th grade. So thank you very much, Dr. Kandis Boyd. Good luck
Thank
with
you
your
so much.
book.
Thank you so much. It's been an honor and a pleasure.
Mine as well.